courage to serve the community. Grant also that we may act compassionately and integrity in the best interest of this Shire. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
I would like to show respect and acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land and elders past, present and future on which this meeting takes place. Thank you, councillors and those in the gallery. Hopefully you don't see so many in the gallery. There's something on the agenda that's very important, or I've got a little problem with that. It's great that it's great to see so many people here, and of course we all know it's for the Mayor for the Day entries sometime here in the agenda, and thank you all for coming. Okay, please be reminded that this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on YouTube. Could all councillors please ensure they use their microphones when speaking. Application for attending meeting by video link, GM. Apologies of application for leave of absence by councillors. Public participation on CR 10.1, the Scone Rodeo and Camp Draft. Outstanding fees, Joel Smith, President, against the recommendation. Of the minutes held on the ordinary council meeting on the 29th of September 2025. Got a mover, Councillor McGill. Councillor Shields. Any questions, comments? Discussion, Councillor McGill.
Yes, look, I asked a question about notice of the last meeting. It's been answered, and I thank the General Manager and the Director of Infrastructure regarding Murrumbidgee pedestrian access, and I think that you almost found another source of funding for footpath, so I look forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favour? Against? Carried. Confirmation disclosure of interest. We've got CSR 10.3, the Corporate Services Committee. Councillor Fraser in relation to the sale of airport land. And Councillor Fraser will leave the room. Correct? Yes. Okay. Page. Okay, the agenda we're all looking for on page 13 is the 2025 Mayor for a Day. I'll move that report from the chair. All in favour? Against? Carried. Paperwork going. Well, welcome. Welcome to all those students that put a great effort in. Thank you to those councillors. Well, we're all going through some 600 postcards and essays, and very tough job to come up with the winners. But congratulations to everyone that did a great job and nominated for it. So as I call the names, I'll do the postcards first. We just come up the line up along the front here. Ella Irving. Miller White. Beltrees, sorry, Ella, you're from Aberdeen Public. Miller is from Beltrees. Just put in front there. From Merriwar Central is Daniel Roberts. Miranda Public is Thomas Pallett. Scone Grammar is Isla Carrigan. Scone Public is Cadence Blake. St. Joseph's Primary Merriwar Poly Austin. And St. Mary's Primary Scone Jack Johnson. Okay, we've got him. In order. Put the one over your neck. Done. Okay. What do you get? Well done. Okay, that's the postcode. Photo. Yeah, we made it.
Could have done rabbit ears.
Just for you, we got it.
Parents want this.
Parents want photos?
You can come up if you want.
You can come up if you want it. From the town small, really, can. Well done. Okay, council, ladies and gentlemen, give them Okay, on to the essays. Dylan Daniels from Aberdeen Public. Trixie Perez from Belches Public. Callum Watts from Blanford Public. Katie Williams from Maryville Central. Samantha Dykes from Murundai Public. Chase Baywater from Scone Grammar. Shelby Rowland from Scone Public. Natalie Henderhan from St Joseph's Primary Marywall. And Joanna Joby from St Mary's Primary School. Great stories with council, weren't they? Okay? A lot of bumpy roads. I think I've taken you up even more, haven't I? Hey, well done. Oh, that's yours. You set me up. You set me up. Yeah, no, I mean, won't you? Well done. One to go. Well done. And move in a little bit.
Yeah. They're moving a little bit.
A little closer.
Eight coming,
Keep coming.
eight coming, coming, crazy.
Hold on. Again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be mean, and ask you all to sit, please, and I'll call that for witness. I think there is. Oh, family, did family want to say that? Are they bowling? You want to photo, you can contact us, and we can sooner. Okay. As I said before, there was some, it'd be really interesting to hear all those get read out, but of course we just can't. So, the Deputy Mayor is Trixie Perez. ready to start, they come from the Scone Grammar School. And it is Chased by Water.
We're gonna.
Don't tackle him again.
Good. Okay, now I do give the opportunity if the students wish, they can sit up with me. For some of the meeting, all the meeting, if mum and dad or your parents are happy for that, or it's completely up to you. You want to? I don't.
His leadership material.
How many years before you leave school? Oh, you're gonna head to the big job when you leave school, eh? I know. Okay. Thank you all for that, and again, congratulations and well done. The council can't give me any check today, for sure, you're right? You take control. You take this. Get out of order, right? Yeah. Anyway. Thank you. Okay, councillors, we'll move over to page 14 on the agenda. Is the Environmental and Community Services Committee. Got a mover. Move Councillor McGill, second Councillor McPhee. Questions, comment, discussion? Councillor McGill.
I've redone this committee, the setback committee. This is another example where we've had to deal with this, someone put in an application that doesn't quite comply. The good news is that our policy is so flexible that we can make things work for people. So I support this again, this DA and also the minutes. I recommend to the council.
Yeah, no other questions, comment? All in favour? Against, carried. Over to page 21, Infrastructure Services Committee, and a mover, move Councillor Williamson, second Councillor McPhee. Questions, comments? All in favour? Or Councillor Ryan?
We're going to deal with item 3.
Oh, yes, sorry, yes. Elect a new chair for the Infrastructure Services Committee.
I'd like to nominate Councillor Fee. She'll accept.
Councillor McPhee has been nominated.
Second.
Second by Councillor Clout. No other nominations? Councillor McPhee, you accept? All in favour? Against, carried. I'll just do the board. Okay. Corporate services on 26. Councillor Fraser at the conflict of leaving the room. Councillor, there's 5 parts of the recommendation. Got a mover. Move Councillor Williamson, second Councillor Shields. Questions, comment, discussion? Councillor Stoltz.
Mr. Mayor, just it's come to my attention by a resident in regards to recommendation number 4, through around the procedure of the Airfield Road. Just for my curiosity, and for the residents, was there a valuation conducted on this land, if I could ask that of the general manager? Thank you.
Yes, through this, there, yes, I believe the valuations undertaken.
Thank you.
No other questions, comment? All in favour? Against? Carried. Now, I'm gonna go back to public participation, just thought I'd let Jade sit for a while. CR 10.1, Scan Radio and Campcraft, outstanding fees, Jade Smith, could you come up to the front, please? Against the recommendation, you get 5 minutes. Hear the 4, thank you.
Thank you. First of all, just thank you for the opportunity to speak. I've been the president for the Scone and Campbell Radio Committee here for 25 years, and we've had a great relationship with council for the events that we've run down there in that time. With increased costs that are happening with White Park over the last few years, and also in the last 12 months, 2 years, the issue we have is with our campground event for 3 days 2 years ago. When council introduced the camping to start using some camping rates, we agreed on a rate provided from council, which we managed ourselves as an event organiser. 12 months ago at our event, council wanted to go on a pathway which is called Nominate, which is a separate to council and separate to us as a user group for campers and stable users to book their camping and stables through. That was to be managed by council, their receipts, etc., when they turn up to the grounds, and that's what we're doing from now on with most of the events that are held down at White Park. So we agreed to do that with council and let them handle it last year, which was different to the year before what we done. Post our event, we got an invoice for the camping fees, which we were unaware of. So from our point of view as a committee, we done what council wanted to do. We were trying to introduce that Nominate platform, which is now up and running. But yeah, it was not our. It was taken out of our hands. It was not our decision. We did agree to try it, use it, but it was to be managed by council, and it wasn't managed on that weekend, and therefore it was sent the invoice for the camp. We just feel that that's unfair on their behalf to send us the bill. For a job that they're supposed to undertake. Moving forward, we're trying to be more proactive with council. The issue we have is we're doing quotes before our event. It's not getting signed off by the user group, it's not getting signed off by the council to agree on, and then we're getting sent invoices post events. So we're trying to work proactively now with that. We do have an event on in 2 weeks' time, so that's I think what we need to do moving forward is to get everything signed and agreed on before our event, so that this doesn't happen again.
Stop there, James. Any questions, councillors? No, thank you very much. That conversation will take place in closed confidential. Okay, council, over to page 34, and the new mayor's going to handle this one.
Government Place Hotel Advisory Committee meeting.
Move councillor Ryan, seconder. Seconder, councillor McGill.
Can I second it, please?
Oh, we accept it. Thank you, Will, won't you? Hold on.
Thank you.
Any questions, comment, discussion?
Just that I wish to be noted as having attended that meeting in attendance, not as a member of the committee.
Thank you. Councillor Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wanted to make reference to item 2, noting the committee's endorsement of the recommended business model that came from the prior page living feasibility review. And also just note in the business papers that the committee did make the request that this report be brought to council as soon as practical. So I'd like on their behalf just like to thank staff and in particular, Director Pringle. He's done a tremendous amount of work to get this report together and supporting the committee and the residents. So I'd just like to acknowledge that and say thank you very much.
Thank you. Any more questions, comments? All in favour? Against? Carried. Okay, you want to read another one out? Try that one.
Liverpool Range Green Farm Community Solar Two Committee.
Move councillor McGill, second councillor Ryan.
Just a moment.
Any questions, comments, or discussion?
Councillor Ryan.
Just a quick comment. I'd like to make reference to those that took the opportunity to read through the business paper and the minutes. Let's make reference there to biodiversity offsets. This is an interesting development that's recently been introduced, and it's now referred to as SODA, Strategic Offset Delivery Agreements, being implemented by the state government for these types of projects. Interestingly, there's 2,000 hectares in Murrurundi, which is now part of a SODA agreement. One of the questions that came forward in that committee meeting was with regard to rates and the impact that these offsets will have. So that question was taken on notice, and it'll be interesting to see what result we do get. I also note that at the last council meeting, we put forward a motion to state conference with regard to the treatment of these types of projects moving forward, asking for a review so that a more fair and equitable arrangement was in place, given that these are new industries and they do have an impact and they do impact our rates. So I'd just like to point that out. Here's an example of where this occurs, and I'll be very keen to see the response that we get back with regard to that question on the rateable base of these SODA agreements. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Ryan. Any other questions, comment? All in favour? Against? Carried. Mr Mayor, do you wish to stop here or do you wish to go leave? If I open the day, you wish? Leave? Oh, before we go, thank you very much.
Right, the questions on us.
Any questions? There you go.
Stand up so that can see.
Yeah, stand up, show yourself off. That's it.
Thanks, everyone.
Well done. Okay, councillors, page 47, the Aberdeen Rail disaster. The mover, move councillor McPhee, seconder. Councillor Shields and second that, but anyway, he's missed it. Second, councillor McGill. Any questions, comment, discussion?
I'd like to say something.
Councillor McPhee.
Glad someone from the Aberdeen committee was awake. I'd just like to just say that this was come from a great idea from Councillor Shields, but also it's come from the CAC in Aberdeen, and there's some very excited people about doing something for Aberdeen, and I'd just like to congratulate them on getting this through, and looking forward to seeing where it goes.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Councillor McGill.
Yes, 1926 was not a good year to be travelling on the railway around here. The Aberdeen disaster was one of three. There was one in the Overland Tunnel and then another one subsequent in September at Marilla disaster. As many of you know, we've already been working the Murrurundi community to get together a sculpture that commemorates the Marilla disaster. We think that will be in place at some point in the next fortnight. So that's been an exciting development for our little community. The only other thing while I'm standing up is clarification. Community members to fill remaining positions. Have some positions been filled, or are there actually remaining positions?
The committee is probably up until this point in time an informal committee. So there are three of us currently working on it. But can I speak to the proposal? And I apologise for being asleep. But this idea is based on the idea that we want to celebrate the heroes of Aberdeen. We're not wanting to memorialise those people who unfortunately lost their lives. What we're trying to do is to show that on the night of the disaster, the people of Aberdeen responded immediately, and the train crash happened at 10 to 10 on the night of the 10th of June 1926. And within minutes, members of the Aberdeen community were down there rescuing people, and a large number of people worked through the night. So that's the plan, to have this commemoration on the King's birthday weekend next year. We've got some stuff organised, or we're thinking about ideas to celebrate it, including a market. We have booked the rail motor to run trips from Aberdeen up to Murrurundi and return. And there's a proposal out there to have Group 21 play a memorial game with the Aberdeen Tigers, possibly not that weekend, maybe the next. So it's something that I think will really do something for Aberdeen.
Thank you, Councillor Shields. Any other questions, comments? All in favour? Against? Carried. Over to page 51 is the signing of the annual financial statement for the year end 30th of June 2025. A four-part recommendation. The bit to note there is the delegate authority to the Mayor, Deputy Mayor and General Manager. Anyone wish to change that? Councillor McGill.
Yes, I thought it possibly more appropriate that the Councillor Williams is on the audit committee, that he be actually one of the signatories.
Thank you, Councillor McGill. So you're saying the Mayor, Councillor Williamson and the General Manager?
Correct.
Second up? All hands up. Councillor Ryan. All in favour? Against? Carried. Over to page 55. Community consultation for the Scone Cup public holiday. Mover, Councillor Williamson. Second, Councillor Fraser. Any questions, comment, discussion? Councillor Williamson.
And I'll just say we're in the midst of the racing point of Pinnacle at the moment. We've seen the Everest, we've seen the Cox Plate, we're about to see the Melbourne Cup. Scone Cup is what's important to the people of Scone, and I really hope that we can endorse in the near future a half-day holiday for 26 and 27.
Thank you, Councillor Gill.
Far be it for me to speak against a half-day holiday, but I do have a lot of sympathy for small business owners in town and how it will impact upon them, and I would be always mindful of that impact on the retail sector.
Any other comment? This one, just a comment, what I see is going Cup Day, the streets fairly empty, but yes, I'd certainly take the point. Okay, all in favour? Against? It's carried. Over to page 58, the Scone Sustainable Community Group Subcommittee Membership. We've got down the bottom of page 58. I'd like to move Councillor McGill, second Councillor Williamson. Any questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? It's carried. Over to page 61 is disclosure of pecuniary interest and other matters. Move Councillor Shields, second Councillor McGill. Questions, comment, discussion? All in favour? Against? It's carried. Over to page 64, request for Scone Horse Hub. The recommendations in front of you, councillors. Move it as is, councillor McGill.
Yeah.
Have a seconder for the recommendation as is, councillor Williamson. Any questions, comment? Councillor McGill, you wish to speak?
But it sounds like this is a wonderful collection, but council is just not in a position to house the collection to help. If someone wants to come through and set up a museum, so be it, but on their own dollar, not on ours, I'm afraid.
Thank you, councillor McGill, councillor Williamson.
Look, I can only compare the good councillor's perspective on this. I'm obviously torn here. I'd love to see more horse focus within the horse capital, and a museum would be fitting. However, I'm also torn with the finances of council and our focus for the last. My focus for the last term and many of my colleagues has been on making sure that we remain buoyant as a council before anything else. So I'd love to see a museum go forward, but not at the expense of the council.
Councillor Williamson, any other questions, comment? All in favour? Motion is carried. Okay, over to page 72 is proposed electric vehicle charging station at Wilson Memorial Oval Car Park, 72 Main Street, Marundi. Move. Councillor Williamson, second, Councillor McGill. Where's the power coming from? Any questions, comment, discussion? Councillor Williamson as the mover.
Yeah, disappointed when Tesla pulled out of Sky. But we've got a replacement through the environmental services there, and that's going to be really positive. To have this facility up at Marundi does mean there's a stopping point between Tamworth and Newcastle, and probably on the outer range for those coming out of Sydney, a great space to stop and take in the artworks, the coffee, and any other activities you want to get up to in Marundi. I'm sure Councillor McGill will express further from that.
You, Councillor McGill.
You missed the gelato shop.
I did.
You did indeed. Yes, I note that NRMA have coming to arrangements in terms of scale. I also note that Muswellbrook today were pretty happy that they think that the bypass is coming sooner than expected, given the fantastic progress they've made down at Singleton. So eventually Marundi will be the first one on the highway where you can stop and charge. We have a couple of people in town who have Teslas, and they make it from the Harbour Bridge to Marundi. So it is conceivable we'll be right on the cusp of people needing to access it. It is a Tesla facility, but as I understand it, it will be accessible to all EV vehicles because they've now adopted a universal plug status. It's not quite like Beta and VHS anymore. So yes, I completely recommend this. I think our Community Advisory Committee all had a chance out of session to comment on this. There is some concern about loss of shade for some of the parents when they're coming into the children's playground area. I think that the plan that we put together ameliorates some of those concerns, and I'm quite satisfied that this is a positive step for Marundi and a positive step for the Shire generally.
Thank you, Councillor McGill. Councillor Reid.
So I'm going to be the fly in the ointment, and just back to your comment, Mr. Mayor, about where the electricity comes from. Until we have these Tesla chargers being charged by renewable energy, I don't see any point in continuing with encouraging EV charging stations.
Thank you. Comment. We've got a mover and a second. All in favour of the motion? Show of hands. It's Collison, Williamson, Schultz, Shields, Ryan, McGill, Fraser, and Clout for. Councillor McPhee against. Motion is carried. Over to page 79 is the government place hostile transition. There's 6 parts of the recommendation, councillors. The mover, Councillor Williamson, second, Councillor Ryan. Questions, comment, Councillor Williamson as the mover. You wish to speak first, are you happy?
sure any of us will be happy on discussions that we've had for a long time out here, but I think this is the best of the bad lot, and I congratulate all the staff that have worked so diligently at this. I also congratulate all the my fellow councillors who've worked on this and made sure that this has been given a fair run in difficult and challenging times. But I think what's put before us today is close to sustainable as we can come about. And again, I think the process has worked really well here. I thank all those involved.
Thank you. Councillor Ryan is the seconder, wish to speak.
Yes, please, thank you. I look upon this as being a little bit better than the best of a bad bunch. And one thing that I'd implore people is don't let perfect get in the way of good. There's no such thing as a perfect solution. This is a very positive outcome though, because the other two alternatives are not very good. One would be to simply close this facility on the basis that it's not sustainable and council doesn't have the resources or skill set to operate it. That's not a good outcome. And I think that this solution, whilst it says to close the facility as an aged care facility, the opportunity that creates is not insignificant. And this is about a transition, and it does put this facility in a position where there will be services available to the local community. There will be an element of disruption to staff, to residents, but what it does mean is that this facility will remain open into the foreseeable future, which I think is very important. The other comment that I would like to make, and some may have taken the opportunity to read through the detailed notes that have been provided, but I'll also say that the consultation that's occurred over the last 6 months has been quite extensive, and there is very solid support for us to move forward with this proposal to keep this facility open in the community. It means that the facility will revert to its original purpose, and it does mean that in combination with other services in the local community, such as the NPS and other allied health services, that there is a home for the Govan Place Hostel in reverting back to that. So I'd encourage everybody to look at this positively. I think this expression of interest process we go through now is very important in attracting somebody, an operator or operators to come in and operate this facility under a new regime. And in order to do that, we've got to look forward positively, and I'd encourage everybody to approach it in that vein. Thanks very much.
Councillor Ryan, Councillor McGill.
Yes, look, I just like to counsel the variable viewers who may be watching us today on YouTube to read the whole of the resolution, not just stop at the word closure. The closure as a residential facility is what's really important, as a residential aged care facility. The facility will not close if we can find another operator to change the way we operate it. This is transitional, but please don't be scared of the word closure. It's a transition.
Councillor McGill, any other questions, comment? All in favour of the recommendation, the 6 points? Motion is carried. Over to page 85 is the Water and Sewer Fund. Council note the present and future representation to the Minister for Water and Sewer Infrastructure Funding. As you can see, Council, we've certainly sent enough letters, and the General Manager not going back to Sydney on the 11th to see the Minister for Water. And I'd like to move the recommendation. Move Councillor Shields, second Councillor McPhee. Any more questions, comments, discussion? Councillor McPhee.
Could I ask, Mr. Mayor, what was the reaction that you got from the Minister when you were requesting funding for this project?
Actually, Councillor McPhee, it wasn't a lot of good news, actually. The best news we got from Zoom meeting before, we need at least 50% up front, so that will leave up under Shire with a $42 million loan. So hopefully when we come back on the 11th, we can have some more clarity around it and see whether we've got any hope at all in Love Hunter Shire or a joint water treatment plant with the adjoining LGA Muswellbrook.
So just for clarity, so the Labor government was quite reluctant to fund this project for us?
Oh, if you wish to say that, I probably agree with you. Any more questions, comment, Councillor McGill?
Yeah, look, for me, the takeaway really on this one is that we need to get on with the strategy. We need to be on the list. If the minister's ever going to contemplate funding it, we need to be on the, what's it called, the Greater Hunter Regional Water Strategy. We need to be on that list first. That should be our priority, is getting somewhere up there. Then we can go off and the minister can start to talk to us.
Thank you. And we're hoping that the mayor of Muswellbrook and the general manager will come down with us, so we'll see how we go. No more questions, comment? All in favour? Against, carried. Okay, someone like to move us into confidential, while Gary moves, move councillor Williamson, second councillor Shields. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, you have to leave the gallery.